Okay, picking up where we left off, but I do want to try to explain a little bit better exactly what we're doing here. Let's say you are a small company, maybe just a few hundred people, and your company wants to log all company emails. When you buy a domain name for a website, pretty much all domain providers, such as I'll use GoDaddy as an example, just because that's a big name, you usually get at least 100 email accounts for your domain free. And you can purchase more at a low price. Some small companies think that they have to go and purchase separate email servers to run and then purchase local servers to back that stuff up. I'm showing you that that is not true. And in this case, what we're going to do is basically when you have an account like GoDaddy, the administrator can set up a catch-all account. So basically, you can set up so any incoming email to any account can go to this one account. So we'll say, well, my website, filmsbychris.com. Let's say I had a number of employees. I can set so anytime one of them gets an email, it also goes to an email account that's named whatever I want. I'll call it catchall at filmsbychris.com. So if you send an email to Chris at filmsbychris.com, it goes to Chris, but it also goes to catchall at filmsbychris.com. If you send one to Jen at filmsbychris.com, it also goes to catchall at filmsbychris.com. And you can also set it up so that when people send emails out, so if Chris was to send an email out, it will also forward that email to the catch-all account, and same with any other user. And you can set this up so that the user doesn't have control over that. So basically you have one account that logs everything, and we are going to set up a server here that basically backs up that one account. And this is the second part of the tutorial. Make sure you watch the first part. We've installed pretty much all the software we need. We just need to configure it now. So let's start by creating two folders. We're going to create a folder, so makedir for make directory .getMail, and it's .getMail because it's a hidden folder, and that's going to contain all our configuration files. But we're also going to make a directory, so makedir, we'll call it gmail-archive, and this is going to be the folder where we save all the emails. Now we also need to create a file within that folder that is going to save all the emails. So we're just going to say touch, which basically is going to create an empty file, and we're going to touch a file under gmail-archive, and we will call it gmail-backup.mbox for mailbox. Now we need to configure GetMail, and the way we have GetMail now, we just unzipped it to a folder. You can leave it in that folder, or you can actually go in and actually install it into a system directory. Doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. So at this point, I'm going to go nano, which is my text editor, and I'm going to go .getmail. So I'm in my GetMail folder here, and I'm going to create a file called getmail.gmail, and this will contain all our configurations for our Gmail account. First line in that is going to be a square bracket retriever, close square bracket, and we're going to say type, so this is the type of server, is a simple POP3 with SSL retriever. Next line, we're going to say where the server is. Server equals pop.gmail.com. Make sure you type it all right. And once again, this is Gmail. I'm just using this as an example. If you're using another account, like let's say Comcast, I'm pretty sure it's pop.comcast.net, but you need to know what your server address is. And you should already know that if you're an administrator. If you have this account set up with either Outlook or Thunderbird, you already have this information because you had to type it into that to retrieve your email. So administrator, you should know the server address. Next is the username. So I'm going to say user name equals, and in this case, MetalX viewer at gmail.com. In this case, your username is your full address. That address is a account I made just for this tutorial. So you can send emails to it. I'm probably going to never check it again. And then here we're going to say password equals, and in this case, MetalX password, which I will change after this tutorial, probably before I get it up. Hopefully I remember. Now I'm going to say inside brackets once again, destination, and we're going to set up where the emails are going to go once they get to our computer. So type mbox rd, that is the type of mailbox we're creating. There's other options, but that's a very standard option, and that's what I'm going with. If you're familiar with email, you could use a different type if you'd like. Now we're going to set path, and I'm going to set it equal to my home directory, and I'm going to go to my Gmail folder, Gmail archive, and we're going to put it inside gmail.backup.mbox, which is the file we created earlier. And this should not be dot here, this should be dash. And last, we're going to add some options, and our options are going to be verbose -2, and that's just the level of output we get on the screen. The higher the number, the more output we get on the screen. Next, we're going to set up a message log. This will help us do basically if we type anything wrong, this log file will tell us what we're doing wrong, and that's going to be inside our home folder, Gmail folder, and then Gmail log. Obviously, all these things is just where I'm setting up. If you have other preferences on where you want everything to be stored, you just do it that way. But this is a very standard setup. We can now save that file. That file is saved. Now, to run it, now that we have everything configured, all we have to do is type in Gmail. First, I have to go into the folder where getmail is saved to, unless you've installed to the system. And I'm going to do .getmail-r, and then the address to our config file. So our home folder, Gmail I'm typing the wrong folder here. Home folder .getmail /getmail.gmail. Now, if we've typed everything right, which I didn't, let's see, what did I type wrong? You know, the error messages are very clear here. Okay, I need to go back